Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Excited for our next guest to join us here. Yes, GurumeetKaur Khalsa joining us here, the creator and owner of Create Inner Peace from Española, New Mexico. She joins us here today to talk more about her services and how she's helping so many out there. And thanks for being here. How are you?
I am well. Thank you, Jill. It is great to be with you. And I'm just learning about all of the work that you all are doing, getting the word out about wonderful programs for people.
Like yours, which is createinnerpeace.com. We ask you to please go to the website and first and foremost, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into, why and how you created this amazing program and what you're doing.
Thank you. I am Sikh, minister, owner of Create Inner Peace, and I teach yoga and meditation. I've been doing that for about 50 years. And the other aspect of Create Inner Peace, the program that we offer, is the Magi calendar. And the Magi are an ancient discipline that are really present in many different cultures. Everybody is familiar with the story in the Bible where the three Magi from the East, India, the Orient, and Egypt came to visit the Christ child. Well, they also existed in Egypt, many other countries, and the Magi, which is actually the root of magic, didn't consider it magic. They considered it science based on numerology and astrology. They had amazing calculations for the mathematical understanding of the entire universe, the orbit of the planets, and all of the mathematical calculations in our DNA, and they correspond. So basically, in Create Inner Peace, we offer meditations for our cards for the Magi calendar. And Kundalini Yoga and meditation has literally thousands of meditations for every issue, every aspect of our talents or our tests in life that we want to deal with. And our calendar, the Magi calendar, it's basically a way to navigate and see, like driving down the highway at night, and you turn on your bright lights to see more clearly where you're going. That's what the Magi calendar gives us, a way to empower ourselves. So I've studied both of these systems for many years, and Create Inner Peace is just thrilled to be able to offer it to help people empower themselves, understand themselves, navigate this incarnation.
Yeah, well, I want to hear. We're going to get to more about the self-empowerment, also the healing, and all that you can do with the Create Inner Peace program. First and foremost, I want to dive back a little bit to you as a child. Where did you grow up? I read that you were always a stargazer and just were always, interested in the universe in a sense. Could you share a little bit about that?
Of course, I know a lot of us feel like we were born into a world that was somehow we're out of sync, out of time. But I always felt really comfortable looking at the stars. And as I became more familiar with some of the aspects of numerology and astrology, all of that just really resonated with me. And then I discovered what are known as the Magi calendar, which combines numerology and astrology. And this is a system that was held in secret in Egypt for thousands of years by the Order of the Magi. And the more I learned about this, the more I felt like I resonated so much with just this simple calendar of only 52 pages in its book, the 52 cards that for thousands of years, we thought of it as a game of chance, a game for entertainment. But in fact, there are complex algorithms and mathematical formulas contained within these 52 cards that enable us to be able to read the calendar for this beautiful earth in which we incarnated. And every single human being born, according to the day of your birth, has your own individual calendar that we can read through these cards. So at Create Inner Peace, and my teacher, by the way, was Robert Camp. He was ordained as the master of the system and given the responsibility to spread the knowledge, which was only released around the early 1900s. And it's been slowly growing. So I've been thrilled to study with him, which I started about also approximately 50 years ago. At the same time, I started yoga.
You don't look old enough to be practicing anything for 50 years. This is amazing. It must keep you young on the outside and on the inside. Really.
I've been very fortunate health-wise. I'm super grateful. And I don't know for sure if it's doing a lot of yoga, which I love, but by God's grace, it does help you a lot, as well as the Magi calendar. You combine these together, and it definitely helps health-wise and many other ways. So that's how I started, both of them approximately at the same time. My yoga teacher was Yogi Bhajan, and he was aware of this calendar also. And when I told him I love this numerology system, and he said it's very, very accurate. And he himself was a king of hearts and a king of diamonds. So according to your birth date, you can find out what your card is. I myself am a 4 of clubs, who are responsible for organization and teaching, and also a 6 of hearts, who are peacemakers. So everyone has a soul card and a presentation card that they appear to the world as, according to your day of birth. And it's very exciting to share it with everyone that participates.
All right. Well, hold on. We also just want to remind everyone how we can contact you. Could you share the website again? Is there a phone number, social media page that you want to, of course, mention here?
Of course. So it's createinnerpeace.com. And Facebook is also Create Inner Peace, Facebook, Create Inner Peace. And the phone number is 505-927-0768.
Beautiful. And I see you on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You're kind of everywhere, which is great. There's a lot to the work that you have to offer, and we're excited to have you. And did you want to talk more about the self-healing, the self-autonomy with meditation? I mean, there's a lot of notes. I just want to make sure we're covering everything that's important to you.
Thank you. I know that everybody has a unique disposition and proclivities and needs, you might say. So some people come to Create Inner Peace just for yoga, and that's great. We teach through Northern New Mexico College, and yoga and meditation, for me and for many people, it's a powerful self-healing. So essentially, when you have, especially as we age, we start having issues with our different organs, with our bones and our joints, and all different kinds of pains that may come here or there. With yoga and meditation, you learn how to use the breath first and foremost. And there's actually 3 aspects. First, the breath, posture, and sound current. We combine these 3 together, using the breath with the posture to start to break up the blocks in the flow of energy in our body, because all dis-ease begins with blocks in the flow of energy in our body. So by combining the breath with the posture, we then add mantra or sound current. And when you combine mantra with the breath and the posture, you get a powerful self-healing that triggers your own body and mind to heal themselves and to essentially live long and well, to increase your longevity in life. So this heart, which beats with all its strength and power every minute that we're living, if we allow different blocks, disease, weight to hamper it, and it's not going to keep beating. But if we keep that flow of energy going, the heart will keep going for over 100 years. It's well known human life can continue a lot longer than we normally do, but we can maintain that quality of life through yoga. Through yoga and meditation, they're wonderful. And then the other thing that we do is through meditation, you have basically a self-autonomy. And we do offer through the stress management and through addiction treatment, you can get clean of any drugs, any problems that you have with your body in 72 hours. That's how long it takes us to get rid of all the drugs in our body. But your mind is still the trigger. You go out once again in your regular environment, and you'll start to feel that pull of addiction again. And these days, there's so many addictions that people have with the gambling, with all of the new drugs available on every corner, the hallucinogens, the vaping, all of these things are given as fine for your health, but it's very damaging to our mind, especially. And if we continue to use any outside substance, and that's the problem with any kind of addiction, that we take something from the outside in to relieve the pressure on the inside, knowing full well that it's a poison to us. And then we keep taking it because it's the only way we can feel alleviated. With meditation, instead, you give yourself the trigger of self-autonomy to be in charge of your own mind, your own heart. And that chanting with mantra is the thing that you can use to replace the autonomy that you have, so that you're no longer dependent on an outside source. You feel the energy, you feel the vitality, you feel the healing that you get from vitalizing, regenerating, rejuvenating yourself. And that's why mantra combined with Kundalini yoga, meditation, gives you self-healing plus self-autonomy. That self-autonomy is very important. So you're not dependent on outside substances, that you can heal yourself. And then the third aspect of Create Inner Peace is self-empowerment. And that is the power of our calendar, seeing. With these 52 cards, it's very interesting because based on your birth, again, you find out what your soul purpose is. Why did I incarnate in this life? Why was I born? People ask this question, they think, why was I born? Especially when we're under stress or we have all these problems, that what am I doing here? And with this calendar, you see not only the tests that you were given in this life and strategy on how to navigate them, but all of your talents. And a lot of times that's the biggest thing that people just take for granted, but they don't claim and use the talents. So it's very fun to share with people about their talents that they've never fully manifested, because I think it was this quote has been attributed to a lot of different people, but I believe that it was Marianne Williamson who said it first, that we're not afraid so much of, oh, what can happen, or what will become of me, or nobody will love me. No, what we're most afraid of is our magnificence, our power, our light, our truth. We just don't think we could possibly be that great.
Mm-hmm.
And so sharing with everyone when we have a Magi calendar session, their talents, that's one of the greatest things that people can take away from this is their gifts, and they can walk with pride, knowing, oh, yeah, I can do this. I've totally got this, because they know they've got it, but they've never felt they had the right, So many of us have that programming in our subconscious. I'm not worth it. And then that kind of
Trickles
distributes
down
out.
into every aspect of their lives. Yes.
Yeah, including their talents. So
Mm-hmm.
these are some of the most exciting things that we can do with the Magi calendar. And then in addition to that, the calendar also gives us this wonderful new realm and dimension, which is I attribute 100% to my teacher, Robert Camp, that I mentioned. Because when he first learned about this calendar and he met these magi who ordained him as the one who would spread this knowledge, this part of it didn't exist, and that is our relationships with other people. So every single person that we meet in our life, this is based on the theory that every particle of matter in this entire universe has an impact on every other particle of matter, depending on its size, its orbit, its rotation, its electromagnetic field, and all of these things combine together. So when you have entire planetary bodies orbiting the sun along with our Earth, and then you have human beings and the animals and all of the other aspects of our life, of this universe, there's a thread of light that some people call God. You may call it the force, the universal life force, whatsoever you call it. It's in everyone. In the Bible, they called it that God is omniscient, all-knowing, all-powerful, all omnipotent, and omnipresent, everywhere, all at once, all the time. How do you calculate these energies? Well, in our Magi calendar, all of the energies in my spread of life that tells me about the karma of my life, my strengths, my talents, are integrated with everyone else that I meet. So this calendar tells me with somebody, let's say I meet someone and they are just really irritating me, right? To the point that, oh God, what the heck is going on there? Well, I can find out from their birthday the energies that we have.
I got to give you my birthday next time. I'm curious.
Absolutely, yes. And we find out that, oh, there's triple Mars energy there. Well, Mars is the energy of going into battle. It's actually the god of lust and the god of war, so you'll feel sometimes, say with somebody with whom you have a sexual energy, that sexual attraction, at the same time, you can get really angry. Or you might just meet someone that you could just bow down to them. You think, oh, you're so amazing. You're so wonderful. And you find out that they are Saturn to you or your teacher. Or you find out a Jupiter connection, and you two can be very prosperous if you go into business together. Or you have a Venus connection and you love each other eternally, no matter what. Sometimes you might have a type of connection where you really adore someone. Everybody else tells you, that person is a sack of garbage. Forget it. Do not pay attention. Don't go around with that person. But you adore them because you've got that Venus energy, and you're going to be there for them to support them no matter what. And you forgive each other for everything, even before it happened, forever. So all these energies are fascinating to understand and give you strategies for healing with others. When a lot of people, for example, will come for a session and they'll say, oh, my sister and I haven't talked for years.
Yep.
And I feel bad and I don't know what to do. And it turns out that there was perhaps a Jupiter connection from the sister, and they
Oh.
didn't they didn't say thank you. With Jupiter, it's kind of interesting. There's strategies, as I mentioned, for all the connections. With Jupiter, you have to be grateful.
Okay.
That's the deal. Well, this person was never grateful. I said, have you ever thanked your sister? Because their sister was always maybe trying to control them, and no, I'm not going to thank her. She was just a thorn, in my life. And I said, try saying thank you and see what happens. And just, send them a note, thank you, and then say thank you for anything and everything. Well, a magic happens when you do that, because the person has gone, when that Jupiter connection is corrupted, then they just go crazy trying to get the person to do what they say. And once you say thank you and they start realizing, oh, they heard me, they understand that I'm not trying to hurt them, I'm here for them. So all of the different connections that we have with people, the strategies to help heal our relationships are wonderful. I personally believe that if we had this information in grade school, so children could start learning.
Yeah, my kids are 7 and 9. Right.
And they love it. And at 7 and 9 years old, they are just the epitome of their card. Like if one of them is, say, a little king, they will walk about like they really are the king. And they have to learn to have compassion and care for their entire kingdom. The wonderful thing about the cards, too, is that no one is high and no one is low.
Mm-hmm.
Every card has a purpose, a great value in the universe, and there are clues given in the game of chance and the game of entertainment. They say aces are high, right? Even though it's the very first number. Aces are high. How is that? And then there's the jacks, the queens, and the kings. And normally we would think, oh, well, first comes jacks, then comes queen, then come. But in the Magi calendar, it's all about just the energy and the integration. So queens do represent the feminine energy, the feminine mind, which is protective energy. The king represent the masculine energy, which is expanding, perseverance, determination, going out. And the feminine energy, the queen energy, wants to create a cozy space and a shield and protect and keep out everything that doesn't fit into that cozy energy. Now we have the jacks. Now, historically, the jacks were the prince, the knave, the ambassador in the king's court who entertained everyone. And they have the power mentally of both the feminine and the masculine. And that's why they could make fun of everyone, including the king, and create laughter and joy. Well, these days, if somebody is born as a jack, they have the ability to evolve beyond the queen, beyond the king, and become the joker. That traditional energy that is everything to everybody.
Wow.
And all of our energies, all of our cards, whatsoever card we are, we can become that masterful energy to everyone. And I will go on for many hours here, so you got to tell me.
I know we're out of time. You were just on a roll. Yes, we are out of time. We have a minute left in the show, so let's wind it down for today. Thank you for being here and teaching me so much and our listeners. And there's still so much more to you. Are we talking again? I hope we have another show soon.
Well, I would love to, and please send me your birth date and I'll give you some overview information, because I am enthralled by the beautiful energy and work that you do.
Oh,
I would
stop.
love to
Thanks.
share with you.
Well, I'll just tell you, I don't mind telling anyone my birthday. I'm 46. I'm January 10th, 1978, if that means anything. You probably need to know the time I
Absolutely.
was born, and I'm
Yeah,
not
that will
sure.
be good. So I will send that back to you.
Thank
January
you.
10th, 1978. You are
Yes.
definitely a spade child, and spades are the elders of our society. You
Ooh,
are the ones who, ever since you were born, you were the adult in the room. I mean, the elder. You don't look like a grandmother,
that
but
is
you have
so
the wisdom
true.
of the grandmother.
I'm the youngest of three. My sister is turning 50 this year. My brother's 48 and I've always been like the mom, the one that runs the show,
Yes.
and I'm the baby. And I'm like, huh? Yes,
No,
totally.
but
All
that's it.
right.
That's the ticket.
That's
So I'll send
crazy.
you a
You
little
figured
bit
this
more
out. This is
too.
awesome.
Mhm. And
And if
thank
people,
you
thank
so
you. No, if
much.
people want to reach out to you, tell us again the website, how we can contact you. Thank you.
CreateInnerPeace.com. And God
Beautiful.
bless you.
Bless
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. Pleasure
Mhm.
having you here and excited to hopefully speak again. Thank you. To all of our
Thank
listeners and
you.
viewers, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.